Hello everyone. Okay, so a new tone, a new pattern, not my favorite word, a new framework. How about that? And this video onwards, I'm going to make sure my audio is better for you all. I did receive some feedback around that, so thank you for sharing with me. I know you're listening, so I will try my best to keep it simple, loving, and clear for you all. All right, so this is going to be 3 messages, 3 groups. You could choose one group, or best results, maybe check out all of them in an order that you feel like, or maybe go in the same order, whatever you're guided to do. So I've got with me the Chakra Oracle deck, I've got the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck, I've got Wildwood Tarot for tarot, and the Lenormand deck that's actually going to talk to us about what's calling you in 2025. Good one, isn't it? What's calling you in 2025? So we're going to pick up 3 groups, and then we'll also use the Chakra Oracle. Let's see how do we do it. So we'll use the Lenormand to see what's calling you in 2025. We'll then use the Sacred Destiny Oracle to see what's the energy supporting the call, what's the frequency of the call, let's say that. And then we'll use the chakras to see what's your frequency, so that we'll know how we'll see how that plays out. And then we'll use the Wildwood Tarot to see how best you can use, or how best you can access. That's a better word. This word use, has a lot of negative energy attached to it, I feel, even though it's one of the primary concepts of life cycles, right? So how good something can be put to use determines the quality of it. So because quality is very underrated and overlooked, okay, the key just popped out. Should I keep this as the first one? Yes, it also has the wheel. So there's going to be one group. This is the first group. Interesting how we're talking about use, the word use, because every time I hear the word use, one of the first words that comes to my mind is service. We all are here to be of some use. I don't want to say to be used, but to be of some use, right? But unfortunately, the word used comes around so much with a negative vibe that we sometimes really forget to look deeper into our purpose, because what we are here for is partly what our use is, our best path to service is, right? So very likely the first group has something around service. So let's see. Okay, let's pull in 2 more groups. Let's let it come organically. I liked it because I didn't really intend to pull on the first group. We just started talking about something and it came out. So let's talk about, what else do we talk about? The Wildwood Tarot, that deck, that's what I'm guided to talk. That deck is very, I don't know if special is an enough word for that, because it has a very deep resonance to me, to my reading of tarot. Talk about the Wildwood and something just came up. Okay, so it's I have recently been able to have a look at the guidebook for that tarot and really spend some time in I really spent some time with it because for a long time I've been wanting to read that tarot or understand it, but it just wasn't materializing. And recently when I got the book, I still feel that it's a lot. It gives me Saturnian vibes. It challenges my ability to read easily. It doesn't come easily because that deck has a lot of dimensions that they all cross each other when I read. I don't know if that makes sense, but probably that was the purpose of it. And the card that flew out also told me that that's what I was guided to say. So this deck has a very Saturnian vibe to anytime I read, anytime I try reading it, because it really challenges my mental comprehensive ability, if you know what I mean. All right, comprehension. Keep it simple again. All right, let's go to the third group now. Lenormand, this particular deck. That's what I have to talk about. I don't know, gloss painting. Something to do with the sun, the ocean, the tide, how the moon's tides, in the presence of the moon, the tides jump up high, whereas during the day the tides are very calm. Emotions run high during periods of darkness. That's when during the moon, when the moon is full, or during the waxing phases of the moon, you're also able to see the stars when the moonlight dims, right? So something to do with the life cycle of a day, how the sun, moon, ocean tides, the stars, they all coexist. They all co-create, coexist. Oh, interesting how the word co-create is very similar to coexist. A lot of us may have come across this word called coexist, right? And we use it when we know that we know we don't really gel well, or we don't vibe in the same frequency. Then we use the term coexist, like just figure out a way so you can live with together without hurting each other or ignoring each other, really abandoning people. Without that, how do you coexist? That's something that is coming loud and clear with this group. I don't even know if I'll remember these, but let's see. Maybe there's a purpose that it's all coming this way. It's meant to come this way. Okay, it's a purpose. Interesting. So 3 groups. I have seen what the 3 groups are. I'm just going to allow you to take a minute to select which group that you want. This is group 1 on the left hand side of the one that I point to. Group 1 pointing to group 2, and then group 3. Right. Okay, let's talk about group 1. Group 1, you chose the key, the Hierophant, the Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter, unlocking the purpose. The key is getting carved. Someone's making a copy of the key. Oh no, there is no key. The key the key is just getting formed. This key is being made. This is a key that's being created. Not by any human, or it's being created by the divine. It's being created by the wheel. As the wheel turns, the wheel is trying to dock onto the keys. What do you call this? The keys. Is it the head of this is the head of the key. So what's this one called? I'm not too sure. So this wheel, as it turns, is going to turn just enough so this part of the key can dock onto the wheel, and this part is being handed from the divine. And people on the wheel, or when the wheel is turning, you can't see that there is a key that's about to be formed. And once this docks, I'm hearing that takes a lot for the wheel to turn as such, right? So with the key it wouldn't turn. So this is not a key for the wheel, it is the wheel turning into a key for somebody. Very powerful, huh? When the wheel turns into the key, what happens? Lot of messages there. When the wheel turns into the key, what happens? Whatever you choose to do is always aligned. There's no question of, I'm hearing it all becomes fully enlightened always, because that touch of the Guru is going to remain forever. The person becomes enlightened. So whatever he or she says or does is always with the divine's will. He or she will not have, struggle is something out of question for them. There will be no question of struggle, because they will always be aligned. That's a very beautiful message. 8 of Diamonds. I don't know if it's the 8 of Wands or is it the 8 of Swords. It's the 8 of Wands. So that's probably coming in quick, and it's also a 33 card. 33 could have a significant could have significance for you. You may be 33 years old. You could have had some instances when you were 33 that something is playing out. Alright, let's go ahead and get you some messages. Well, we've already been getting messages here. Okay, let's see what the Sacred Destiny has to tell us about the key. Transformation. It's the card of the transformation. The yellow is screaming Jupiter to me. Something that the Guru is urging has something to do with the throat as well. So this pile has the frequency of transformation from the divine, right? Either you are transforming or you're transforming your surroundings. The way it's coming through is because it's Jupiter. It's very expansive, right? So whatever the transformation is, whether it is for you or around you, it has a very huge impact on something greater than you. So it's definitely a question of your environment, your surroundings, your near and dear ones, friends and family. So this energy of transformation is not only aligning you according to the divine's will. Probably the divine is working through you in transforming a whole group, a whole collective of people. Wow. You have a purpose that is a lot bigger than you. It's larger than life. Okay, one to be remembered is what I heard. Amazing. Let's see what your frequency is, and then we'll get some tarot. Let's see what your frequency is. This, as we know, is what is calling you in 2025. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but when we say it's calling you, it's also part of the intention here on this reading. Also means these messages are for you. Like if you're watching my channel, then you're part of the tribe that has already answered the call. So this is calling you not because they want to see whether you answer it. This is calling you because you've already answered it. So it's part of the lot of the many calls that we always get, right? So we don't need to answer everything. That's true, it's a choice. But once you've answered the call, once you've answered your main call, the first time when it rings, if you know what I mean, you know. If you know, you know. Then all the other calls that come in are in some way aligned. It's also part of this message, the key, right? So once you're on the wheel, once you're in the flow, then it can dock on something only when it's meant to be a call, right? So which is why you'll also see that these messages are frequencies, right? They are not, we all have free will, you all have choices to make. It's how we make the choices that partly determine our path. So I just had to say that this is something that's calling you, which means the connection is already on. That's what I mean. Okay, let's see. 2 cards fell down. The chakra, when I said the connection is already on. The connection is already on. Angels and masters. Is it visible? Angels and masters. Still have to fix my camera. And what's the other one, do you know? Inner child. So your angels are busy with your inner child. Probably you are being transformed, and this transformation is allowing you to become this key. Either this key is you, or this key is being created for you, right? So when you have a key, it means you're meant to unlock something, right? So you are on a mission to unlock something, and your inner child, you'll see that the Lenormand also has the child at the bottom of the deck. Your inner child, listening, is at the bottom. Your inner child is right now being held so close. I don't know why I'm still shuffling the chakra oracle. Relationships and Mother Earth came. The energy is very big. This is very, very big. It feels very massive. It's massy. So it's working through relationships on Mother Earth collectively through your inner child that is fully protected and guided by the angels and ancestors at this moment. And this gift, this purpose that's getting unlocked through this is a lot bigger than you could ever imagine. Because this is a key, this is not just a key, it is a key made using the wheel. The wheel, sometimes people read it as it's not the world, it's the wheel of fortune, right? So that's Jupiter. The key is also the Hierophant. So your purpose is going to be unlocked. No, your purpose is to unlock. Your purpose is getting unlocked. That's what it is. Okay, so now let's also read through the tarot. We are 18 minutes. Come on, we've got to be a little... I don't want to sit here for the whole day, but I really want to give you all some messages. How beautiful are these messages? I wouldn't want to miss them any day, you know. Okay, let's ask the Wildwood Tarot. How is this playing out in 2025? What are your... So we're not going to talk a lot about the transformation, because we know that your inner child is fully protected and guided by your angels and ancestors, angels and guides, angels and masters. We'll talk about the purpose, the key that's getting unlocked. The key is getting created so something can be unlocked. Okay. So this transformation is creating the key for something to be unlocked. So let's ask, how will you realize, or how can you discern? Realize is a very harsh word, I feel at times. How could you discern? What can help you discern the use of this key. How can something be used? Wow, it's all linking back. Now I can I forgot that we spoke about use, right? Being used or being of use, being of service. So this key is meant to be of use for something. So let's see how you can discern that something for which you can use the key once it gets created. We know that we don't want to talk about how or when it's getting created, because that's the wheel's job, that's the divine's will. And it will happen as it will, and so shall it be. It's all fully planned and laid out in a way that is secure, safe, healthy. I'm hearing it's foolproof foundation. Okay, so let's see how you can discern this thing. How could you experience in the world this thing that you can use this key to unlock? You can use this key to unlock for, or maybe unlock for. So whatever this thing is that you could unlock with this key, let's see how you can discern that thing or a situation or a person or a relationship or a mission, a career. It could be anything. Let's see how that plays out. Yeah, I'm just not going to clarify it. It's going to be just on an overview. 10 of Vessels. It's happiness. Wherever there is infinite flow. The flow of abundance is always infinite. You just have to be aligned to it, right? The seer. Someone who can see the flow. The ancestor. It does. Interesting how this group is so protected, huh? We don't want. Okay, so you see how the seer is standing with the wand or with a stick. I shouldn't say a stick. The seer is holding something on her left hand. On the right hand, she's pointing to the ground, right? And the bottom of the deck is fulfillment. So she has the bow and there's something she's pointing to on the sky. It's the fulfillment at the bottom. So it's something that fulfills you. Okay, what I will do is we're going to make this, we're not going to stop or pull back or control how this flows. So I'm really going to flow with it. What I will now do is take a minute to read for you. Let's read what the 10 of Vessels is and then the seer is. Ten of Vessels, happiness, generous fulfillment of desires from a source that is pure and cleansing. Reward for patience and the lives given selflessly. True emotional stability and freedom. Isn't that beautiful? Emotional stability and freedom, reward for patience. The seer, the time has come to focus on your power and let it flow through you. Dreams are ready to be applied to your life. Inspiration, wisdom, shamanic light. Okay, let's also read the ancestor. You have made the leap and started a new cycle. That's what the reading is about. You have made the leap and started a new cycle. You must strive to see the journey through to the end. The ancestor will guide you. Listen to your inner voice and instincts. Ancestral memory, the call of the wild. Interesting. So, it really is your call that is going to be unlocked. Or I don't know what you're unlocking is another call. What I can for sure see here is it has got something about how you can see freedom and emotional stability from a place of divine light, from a place of the divine will, divine's will. And this is all done by your ancestor, your This is one that is, I don't know if it's meant to be. I don't know if it's meant to be. It's meant for you. That's what it feels like. It's meant for you. Too beautiful, huh? I'm going to leave it there, and I hope it makes sense to you. Of course it will. Well, it's not meant to make sense. It's meant to be felt. Too beautiful, huh? Okay, so let's leave the cards there for group 1. Let's go ahead with group 2. The Whip. So this is where we spoke about the Saturnian vibe that this deck gives me at times, because it challenges my nervous system. I have to really think a lot to comprehend it, because it's got a lot of nuances, very tightly related. I feel at times they all overlap in some areas, or in some areas they're like, no, I'm on my own. It's got a very interesting flavor of itself, because it's also very Capricornian. The Whip is generally the energy of Saturn. It's not easy. It's got the interesting. Okay. But you'll also see a broom behind the Whip. Should we also read the Whip? I don't know. I think it's the same. So in this deck, you can see the broom just behind the Whip. So you're forced to clean something. It's like somebody whipping so that you would go ahead and clean or organize something, tidy up. And what's being created out of it is probably a broom. I don't know. So you're again putting to use the unwanted qualities, bundling them up together so they can further be used to clean something else. So you are creating the broom. That's what the Whip is asking you to. So you're creating a way to cleanse. This is I don't know what to say, but this one feels it's a lot difficult, huh? It's not easy on the earth. That's another thing. Okay, before I go ahead and talk a lot, let's see. It's one where you're forced to clean up in ways that are so difficult for you as a person on the earth. It feels really very difficult. I'm also seeing the 10 of Wands. Let's see what's the frequency that you are in. I'm just going to pull a card from here. We're not going to talk a lot. Okay. Are we ready to pull the Whip? No. Not. Oh my God. I don't know. It's a very tough energy. I'm feeling it very crucifixion, 10 of Wands kind of an energy. What's your energy? Spiritual awakening. I don't know if you can see the words. It says spiritual awakening at the bottom. It has something to do with your third eye. Whatever you're going through is opening your third eye wide and bright. Okay, there's the plays at the bottom of the deck. I'm sure this is a message for you. Please play. Please take some time out every day to play in the sun. Feel the joy. Joy is one of your most supportive energies right now, and I'm really guided to stress it again and again. Joy is your most guided energy to feel right now. You need to find the joy, feel the joy within and in your outside world in all possible ways. Yep. And possibly there's someone else around too. You never know. Usually such difficult energies, when we navigate, the divine has their mercy on us. They are not really that We all think that why is God putting me through this, but it's not really God. It's God always guiding us through whatever we have been doing, what we are doing, and we could be doing, They don't say we should be doing, they just say we could. So it's our choice and free will that always accumulates or dissipates stuff, right? So I'm keeping it very surface level here because it feels super deep and heavy. It's a very tough energy. I'm again saying, if you are going through something that, now I'll give you an example. This could play out in numerous ways in our daily lives. Somebody who is not treated well, or somebody who is always, it's tough. I don't want to go too deep there, but just know that if you're going through something really tough and you're not able to talk about it for some reasons, just go and play. Kids, animals, or just in the nature, take a walk in the parks, take a stroll, because these quiet times when you connect with your inner joy, they are meant to awaken your third eye. It's also your crown. I think it's your third eye mostly. So yeah, it's not easy. Awakening is not easy because we haven't really tapped into it in all these years. That's what is getting awakened, right? So it's there inside somewhere, and when it awakens, it's going to cause a rattle. It's like, I don't know where I am and I'm new to the world, so on, just like a new child. So you will feel so refreshed after the process is done, but during the process, it's a whole another story, huh? Okay, let's see. What we're going to ask is, I really want to get you some. I'm really going to talk about this energy of joy. I don't want to talk about the whip. If you're going through something hard, so much love to you, and I really pray. My prayers are there for always, or for everyone, always, in the spirit of the divine light. So all love to you there. And okay, so let's get you some advice on how you will be able to navigate this, how you could navigate this in 2025. If this is your calling, I'm going to say, dude or dudette, boy or a girl, male, woman, I don't know genders, they're not, it's making me mumble, this energy. But we don't need to be afraid as long as you do right. So that's why the Saturn, no? With the Saturn, let me also just mention this, if it could be of, some leads to you. Saturn is also the devil in the tarot, and the devil is always in the details, right? And who is not great with details? Somebody who has a higher perspective, somebody or someone who is very lazy to look into the details. You see how that works? So what happens is, this duality to this devilish energy of why are you missing the details is very much subjective to people who are viewing you in a certain way. So if someone from a higher perspective is looking at you and they see you're skipping the details, they will also be able to discern whether it's coming from a place of, are you really operating on a higher frequency, or is it because you're lazy? So are you escaping the details? Saturn doesn't like people who escape. Let's keep it simple and straight. If you're escaping your actions, if you're escaping your words, if you're not taking accountability for something, if you're not addressing the truth about something, there's something for you there to really look into. Third eye. Right? So let's talk about this energy of, should we talk about the whip? Should we make it a little easy for you, or should I really tap into the joy? I'm hearing both. I'll get you an advice on how you can navigate the whip. Let's get you an advice on how you can navigate the whip. The Tower. Let it fall. Let it fall. But you see, interesting. It's not a bad card, eh? I'm just going to say it's not as difficult as I thought it was initially, because these two cards are like, oof, they're making me sweat. Not because they are hard. Again, I'll tell you, this is limited to my perception. So what I feel, how I read it is fairly hard, right? But it could be a lot more easier to you if you are an earth sign, if you have a good Saturn, if you have a healthy way of beliefs and morals in your social conditions. A lot of other factors also go in. So I don't want anybody to be really stressed about me being stressed or just reading it the way it's just meant. I'm reading it the way just as it comes, and I don't mean to exaggerate. I'm just trying to put together some perspectives, and if at all someone is feeling the harshness of it, then I want to acknowledge and give you my kindness and love too. Right? You see how that works? So for anybody who feels that this is not a big deal, that's what we are meant to do here. Hey, good. I mean, lots of love to you too, and I appreciate your strength, and I think that that's something that could be of help to others too. So feel free to go ahead and share, right? So this is the Tower. Slightly different card. Usually in the Tower, what is not strong, what doesn't have a strong foundation falls through, right? Here, the foundation is strong, but somebody is falling out of it. That's not the energy of awakening. I don't know what is. So your morals, beliefs, your values, your principles, the structure, how you believed something was always, whatever your structure is, you're not breaking the structure. You're coming out of the structure. The divine is throwing you out of that structure for its own reasons. Well, it's your call. It's your calling. So you are falling out of a stable foundation somewhere else. So, okay, what about this? But you are protected. 4 of Stones. So maybe you feel a little vulnerable. You're holding on to whatever last is left of your previous foundation. I'll give you an example. Maybe you wanted to get, if you're looking for just an example, if one of your conditions say that you want to be close to your parents after your wedding, but this situation is forcing you to, or you found somebody to get married but they are not close to your city, or they don't want to move in, so you have to make a compromise to move out of the city, even though that was one of your conditions to get. You see how that works? I shouldn't say condition, that was one of your asks. But 4 of Stones is protection. So excuse me. So it's possible that you are being protected. That's why there's something, you're falling away from something, you're looking for some protection on, you're looking for a place to live, maybe a different household, want to move, so you're holding on to the little stuff left for you before these changes. Okay, Ace of Wands, the awakening. You're going to figure out your passion. This is your, wow, from the whip going to the Ace of Wands. If that's not divine will, I don't know what is the game. Oh my God. The Tower, 4 of Stones, and Ace of Wands. So that's also part of your advice, Your advice is, it's okay to fall. It's okay for things to fall away. Something crashes, let it crash. Well, not in the literal sense. Again, these are metaphorical that I'm trying to talk through. If people fall out of your lives, or if situations change unexpectedly, it's okay. It's okay. It's perfectly all right, right? You'll figure it out. Maybe it'll be different, the next time. Maybe there will be a lot of changes, but you'll figure it out. And as you figure it out, what you're also guided to do is hold on to your passion. Yeah. Oh, so that's really what it is. You are, maybe once you fall down, you may feel the jerk, you may feel the jolt, not in the literal sense. Again, just reading the cards, your advice is, imagine you've just had a bad incident elsewhere, and there will be some time for you to recollect from it, to recover from it. During that time, you're protected. There's the Four of Stones. Then your advice is the Ace of Wands. Really look at how you have changed after it, how it has made you bold and courageous, how it has awakened your passion, sense of passion. All right, so the Two of Stones is underneath. This says challenge. So probably this situation is very challenging and it's making you feel a little unsafe. So you're wanting to find yourself a little bit of safety. That's why you also have the energy of joy underneath, right? Joy will allow you to feel safe within yourself, and that's all you need to navigate this harsh energy whenever you're feeling the harshness, right? It's not meant to be harsh always. It's just the experience that might make you feel very harsh and want you to just cocoon somewhere. So find the joy and allow yourself to play a bit. Just get out of this situation, both in your mind and God will. I mean, I'm not going to discuss the all possible scenarios. That's not what we want to do. I don't want to scare anybody out, but I also want to say that if you're already feeling this harshness, then my heart goes out to you. And for those who feel that this harshness is meant to get me out of something that is meant to go away and I feel passionate about it, you're on the right track. Lots of love to you and more power to you. Please also help the other folks. That's part of my request there. Okay, so that's the group 2 for us there. Let's move to group 3. The anchor. Foundation. The anchor. Should we also read the anchor, or maybe just let's talk about the frequency and then we'll figure out our own ways. Yeah. So anchors dock the ships, right? Sometimes when you're on a journey or when you're sailing, even though you've been moving a lot, making good choices, you're in your own flow, you have good boundaries with your emotions, or I don't know why all of a sudden my throat is feeling quite heavy. Okay, so but sometimes you do need an anchor. Let's see if this is a message about the anchor itself, or it's a message about the place where you can anchor, you can feel anchored. I have a feeling this is a ship whose anchor is yet to get into the ground. Or maybe there's just an anchor waiting for a ship. Oh wow. I don't know. What I'm going to do is let's read the anchor a bit so that will give us some leads. Okay, so this is Lenormand. It's a 35 card. Dropping your anchor, committing to work, stability, and responsibility, creating a safe harbor. Retreating to a place of depth can also mean feeling adrift, a seaside, and docking. Interesting. So that's why that came across. Like this felt like a ship who is looking to anchor somewhere, right? A seaside drifting. So sometimes we want to go ahead and drift, or sometimes the universe wants you to go ahead and drift. So this period, this call is about where you can safely anchor, where you can create a safe harbor. Interesting. Oh, wow. I feel a similarity between these groups. Anyway, so that we'll talk about a little later. What is coming through is, if you're in the flow, you need to be equipped to create a safe harbor intermittently. Whenever there is a drift, whenever there is a seaside drift, you need to safely dock and create a safe harbor for yourself and your belongings. So let's see what's the frequency that you are in. Relationships. Is this about a partnership? Was also part of how I felt when I was reading this is, there's somebody who is always reliable. This relationship is about an individual. Of course, relationships, how an individual carries out relationships, they probably are able to navigate these drifts and create a safe harbor for themselves and their belongings. So they are the anchor, if you know what I mean. But even though they are the anchor, they need a sand into which they can stably fit, right? So they need the sand also to be, so they need to know how to create a safe harbor. So this group's call in 2025 is about creating a safe harbor. Mother Earth is at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so let's see. Let's go ahead and get you some advice on being the anchor. Let's see how the Mother Earth supports you, how you can go ahead and dock yourself into the sand if you're an anchor who's trying to save, who's trying to handle or manage, navigate the seaside drift of a ship where you and your fellow ones were once sailing, right? Let's see what Mother Earth has to say about. We'll also see how relationships comes into picture here. This could be about you and your loved ones. That's as simple as how it's coming through. You could have situations, or you could have been having situations, and 2025 is going to be an opportunity. Excuse me. It's going to be an opportunity for you to really dock, anchor yourself so that you are able to anchor your fellow ones. Yeah. So your stability is the focus. How is it presenting? The green man. That's a beautiful energy, huh? He's alchemizing. The mirror. The stag. Ooh, very similar to, I think that it's got a very similar vibe to group 1. Although group 1 is a lot about expansion, group 3 is a lot about anchoring your foundation. Both do have a very strong presence of your foundation, stability, and so on. Okay, so let's go ahead and read. I want to read the the green man. He is generous. He's be prepared to find new drive to bring projects. Thriving and regenerative nature, the king and the land are one. There is your cue. So, the land, reference to the land with the anchor. The king and the land are the one. It's a regenerative king. So you're not only going to create, you're also bringing new projects. So this opportunity to create itself is created by you. So you are the creation. The next is the mirror. What's the mirror about? A surrender of will is required in order to make the crossing to the Isle of Healing. Now is not the time to drive on with a plan or desire until you have heard what your soul has to say. Patience, no act of will can force this journey. So, this green man is very patient. Something is wrong with my throat all of a sudden. So, this regenerative king is patiently waiting. That's the period of when this anchor is waiting to dock, right? So, even though there has been a drift, you may have been, maybe you're not in the flow, maybe you're in between jobs, maybe you're in between moving houses, in between a change, but you still haven't found the next one. I'm hearing the one. This could have been with relationships too. Maybe you have lost quite a few relationships, but you haven't really been able to find a good one, find a stable one. It's a very underrated term. I think stability in relationships is very underrated. But I think it's very important because it ties down to a lot of other factors, right? Anyway, that's not the goal here. As in, that's not the goal of the message. The message is a little more bigger for you, for whatever you are, whatever your call in 2025 is. You're urged to just wait before you dock. Simple message. But let's see what the stag says. And then we have the stag. On a personal level, some kind of adjustment or interaction has taken place. Face the coming season with integrity and trust to right action. Welcome the justice that arrives as the consequence of your actions. Interesting. So, someone has been very patient in really taking charge or bringing like regenerative action to create something. And the advice in 2025 is going to be in terms of really accept the consequences of whatever have been your choices. Your keywords in 2025 are going to be integrity and trust. So that's what I was about to say. We underrate, we overlook stability a lot of times, but it ties to a lot of other factors like trust and reliability. That's what I wanted to say, and I just decided it's not part of this bigger message. But eventually it came out because the stag is somebody who has had a change, or maybe in the way in their interactions on a personal level they have had an adjustment that has taken place. So face the coming season with integrity and trust to right action. So this could be someone else who is waiting to dock and they are probably looking at you, but just that they are patient and they are waiting for their own confirmation of integrity and trust, or the consequence of their actions. Or this could be you who is really patient with relationships, really waiting to see how trustworthy and how much integrity your relationships are bringing forward to you, right? Before going into it, whether to contribute or whether to expect. So these these things come into play only after trust and integrity. So that's a very strong relationship message here. This could be within a partnership, it could be just your fellow relationships outside community, but there is a very personal touch to it because it's got to do something with docking there, this thing. Now, I'm also guided to say that you really have to be very mindful if this is for you. There could be someone who is wanting to dock on your sand. Now, that also tells me that you could become, so you are partly there, it may come along with an expectation of wanting you to be reliable, not only for them but for their group, because they bring their ship, right? So even though the anchor is not going to carry the weight of the ship, once you dock onto the earth, it's the earth that binds together. But there's going to be this chain to the ship, to the whole group, to the whole ship, to everybody sitting in that ship. So I don't know, maybe it's already there, it's already part of it, or they want to come and dock onto your sand. So they see you as the sand. So they have the anchor, they are trying to dock on you. Again, it's a question of choice. I don't, this could play out in a number of ways. You could be the one looking for a place to lay your foundation, or someone's looking at you as very reliable and trustworthy that they want to come in. But the key for you in 2025, how this is playing out and how you can discern, is take a moment to really look at how trust and integrity are part of these relationships. How would you want them to, what are the expectations that it's coming with, what would be the contributions. Look at it from a very practical, realistic perspective before you bring yourself or commit yourself into any new projects, into any new community or relationships or partnerships. Right? What was the other thing that I wanted to talk about here? So the stag says the justice that arrives as the consequence of your actions. So this could well be a justice for somebody, you or the other person, I don't know. And the mirror also says that this cannot be forced by the act of will, right? So this king and the land are one, but his patience cannot be moved, or he cannot be forced to act. That's the period that he's right now in, and then eventually he moves into the stag, which is where he says, I look for trust and integrity, and then I'll bring justice to this situation, right? So it's coming from it's giving me judgment vibes and somebody who is acting according to the judgment as per the divine will. Obviously, in such situations, sometimes you may not necessarily, it could have been a conflict, but many times it is, because justice is involved only when there was an injustice, right? So possibly it was an injustice to all parties, or to someone done by the other one wants to correct it, or this one wants to get it. Well, that's the whole point. One person wants justice, the other one's not going to give. As far as this group is concerned, that right now your period of 2025 is going to be one of patience and a very strong will, for you to really assess what projects you bring into, and then what projects you bring into only after assessing the trustworthiness and integrity part of how just those situations will be. Okay, so that's all of our messages that we wanted to do. I thought I'll clarify with the lights here, but it's already an hour. I hope these messages support or give you some answers in some little ways possible. Lots of love to you all. Be gentle with yourselves. I'll see you around next time. Bye.